What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. Going to be playing a game on PTCGO today, and today I've got Jimmy Pendarvis' Roanoke Regional Championship winning Gardevoir GX, Ninetales GX Swampert deck. Awesome stuff from Jimmy. This is his third regional championship ever, and his third regional championship win ever, and his second one of the season. So awesome stuff. Jimmy's a good friend of mine, so shout out to Jimmy for an incredible finish again. Great stuff. He also won an expanded format earlier this year, so being able to win in expanded and standard formats in the same year, super impressive. And funny enough, his first regional championship win was actually against me in the finals. So I have some experience playing against Jimmy as well. We actually played in the same area for a long time too. So Jimmy is a very good competitor, very good trading card game player, and definitely deserving of his 3 regional championship wins. Looks like I am going to be playing this Gardy deck against some sort of metal concoction over here, so that's disastrous. Sometimes when you see, decks do well, like on stream, or when you see them do well on videos, you get to see like lots of counter decks kind of pop up. But yes, we'll get the Solgaleo out. Natalie's reminding me we're going to be totally fine. This looks like it is a Solgaleo G or Duskmane Necrozma Magnezone is what I'm playing against. So they've got like Celesteela in here. They've got a Solgaleo Prism Star in the active. This could be bad, but we're gonna see how it goes. And I'm sure we got some options to deal with this. We could attack with our Swampert. We could attack with Gardies, and we could get the Solgaleo promo out, then that Gardy is going to be just fine. However, I'm pretty sure Duskmane Necrozma does, 220 damage, so I guess they would have to be playing choice bands in order to knock out Gardevoirs once I set that all up. So got this Ultra Ball in my opening hand. I'm looking like I might go for the Lele and the Elm here just so that I can Cynthia turn 2. Kind of seems like the most reasonable option for me. That, or I could just Ultra Ball for a Vulpix and retreat the Ralts manually after a Cynthia. That seems less good than what I need to do. Yeah, that seems less optimal for sure, especially since I'm trying to set up that Solgaleo. I got a rare candy as well, so that's pretty good. We're going to Ultra Ball away the Choice Band and a Fairy Energy here and see if that Solgaleo line's in the deck. It is, so that's very good. We can go for Lele and get the Elm here, so let's just do that. And then we're going to grab yes, very good. We're going to get probably a Cosmog. We already got a Mudcut. We're going to get a Vulpix and probably another Ralts. That seems fine. So let's just go and do that. And then we can retreat into the Vulpix and Beacon. That way we can just have the rare candy in my hand already. I really like that. Let's just get these 3 guys. Actually, don't need him. Let's get these guys there. That seems good. I definitely want to have the option to get 2 Gardies. Yep. So we got a full house here. Like, everybody has shown up to the party for sure. All right. Bench is full. Let's retreat and turn 1 Beacon with Rare Candy Cynthia in hand. That's absolutely fantastic. It's pretty much all we want. We probably are going to go for the Solgaleo. I don't know. I mean, getting the Solgaleo out would just be so good. But yeah, probably let's get this Solgaleo and a Marshtomp. I'm like cool with that. That way we can kind of start to set things up. My opponent just like tees off and just gets this thing up and rolling turn 2 and knocks out my Vulpix. Like, yeah, we're in like a little bit of a bummer spot, but I'm okay with that. I don't want to get Gardies out before I get Solgaleo out. That's kind of my thought process here. And then I do want to get Swampert out. So the other way that I could have done that is that I could have gotten like Swampert and Kirlia. I just thought like now's my opportunity to get the Solgaleo out. So we're just going to go for the Solgaleo now. We don't actually need to worry about being the first to attack in this matchup. I'm not worried about that at all because we should kind of be able to overwhelm them eventually once we have these 230 hit point, weakness resistant Guardies in play. So my opponent is going to just Radiant Star there, accelerate, and I get another opportunity to beacon, which is going to be incredible. And now that we got the Solgaleo out, I'm pretty sure that this is just game here. As funny as that is. Now, we've got another turn to beacon. We've got the Solgaleo. I don't think that there's like a lot they can do to keep me from just overwhelming the board here. I just get to go and get myself another Guardy and then also Swampert. So we can evolve that. I've got Rare Candy Guardy. I didn't want to put my energy down yet. There's no real reason to do that because I'm going to wait and see, you know, make sure that my opponent doesn't Guzma and knock out one of my Ralts or something like that. You just never know. So I was going to just hold on to that because it's not really a matter of importance here. I'm going to get to draw with Swampert so long as this Marshtomp doesn't go down, which is really good. And we're actually getting to see that Marshtomp come into play here, which is super cool as well. Swampert is huge to the functionality of this deck. The deck really doesn't draw the cards it needs to without Swampert just churning through the deck every single turn. So Swampert is absolutely fantastic in here and definitely a priority for setting up the deck as well. As you can see, my opponent did get the Magnezone there, so they're going to be able to flood the field with Metal Energy, which would be a little bit scary, but not so much with the Solgaleo in play with that Shining Mane ability, giving all my Pokemon no weakness. So that is sweet. And down goes the Vulpix. Now I'm going to be able to throw Guardy up there and hopefully, you know, get things rolling as far as energy goes. So cool stuff. Let's evolve into Swampert. We're doing that for sure. We're going to Rare Candy into Guardy. That's a definite. Then I could just put the Ditto Prism Star down, which is probably fine. Right now I'm doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So I'm like a little bit short of being able to knock this thing out with the energy I have on board right now. So we're going to have to dig for a little bit of energy. Let's just put the Ditto Prism Star down and then Cynthia, and then I'll power draw after the Cynthia so that I hopefully get to see as many cards as possible. Now, I didn't actually have a Vulpix that I can evolve into, so that is a little bit of a pain. We just need to power draw into the right cards here off of this. If I had that Ditto Prism Star down one turn previous, we would have been able to evolve into the old Ninetales and go for that Energy Lotto that Jimmy decided to include in the list. We did get Super Boost, which is not optimal, but also fine here. I mean, definitely more than enough for a knockout. I can't, Rare Candy anybody else. I'm cool. I can counter that, which like marginally helps just in case they have trouble getting energy they need. But I do have to worry about a potential like Duskmane Necrozma coming in here. I forget how much that GX attack does. I think it, do you know how much it is? I think it's 230.
Enough.
It's enough. Yeah, I think it's enough to knock out my Guardy, but they can't do it yet because we are tied on prizes. So they're not actually ahead, meaning that they don't get to use their GX yet. Let's just hope they don't have like a Choice Band and a Duskmane Necrozma and enough energy. That would be pretty devastating for me. They do have another Magnezone, and by the looks of things, they're probably not going to be attacking with the Duskmane this turn. They decided to Rare Candy into the Magnezone before they were going to retreat. It looks like they're kind of committing to just attacking with Magnezone, which would be really good if they had their ability or if they had their weakness, but without weakness, that's just really not going to do nearly enough damage. And then with 4 energy attached, it should be pretty easy for my Gardevoir to just knock out another Magnezone here as well. So as you can see, my board position is pretty fantastic. I'm going to be able to evolve into a lone Ninetales here, which will allow me to get another Gardevoir into play. If not, I will happily just go get a Kirlia as well. If I don't end up needing this Mysterious Guidance, I can just get another Kirlia and continue to set up as many Guardies as I can. I do want to have plenty of Gardevoir in play just in case one does end up going down. I'm not super interested in max potioning off this super boost energy that I have here, so I do have to kind of think about that. This Guardy is going to get knocked out in 2 hits, but fortunately it will get to take 2 prizes first. However, I will kind of be behind on prizes if this Guardy doesn't take out a GX. So that is all something to think about. Here, you know, if we could knock out something with a Turbo Strike, that would be cool. My opponent's got Stack Attacka on their bench. Let's just go in. I got the Ultra Ball, so that's great. I can actually get myself another Guardy here on this Ralts. That's good. Let's just start off by power drawing away the Swampert. That way, if I draw into a Guardy, I can maybe get a Curlia with that Ultra Ball instead. We do have the Curlia here, so that's really good, and I can just evolve the Ditto Prism Star into that. Then I don't have any other energy right now, so we're going to have to see maybe I get something off of the energy Lotto there and can put another energy into play. Just trying to figure out if it's worth it to Guzma something this turn. I'm thinking that's probably not going to be what this turn is all about. So let's just evolve that and then Ultra Ball away. Probably both Ninetales GX at this point, to be honest, just to get another Guardy into play. And then, like, my deck is looking pretty, you know, pretty thin. Like, I don't really have too much else going on in my deck. 2 DCEs and 3 Fairy Energies. That's cool. I could Guzma something. It's just like, do I need to? Let's just, like, throw that Energy Lotto, see what we get. I'll take the DCE just to have it in my hand. Now we get to think about our choices. Could go knock something out with my Solgaleo Prism Star. I have some energies in the discard pile. I do have 2 energies in the discard pile, so if I could hit a knockout with that, I would, but I can't because, yeah, nothing here has 120 hit points. So I think we just have to knock out the active, as frustrating as that is. And, yeah, we're just going to go Rare Candy here into that Guardy. Then let's just start accelerating to the bench and hope that, you know, we can kind of just get things rolling from there. I mean, I could go, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. I could retreat into my other Guardy and then just hit this Magnezone and then kind of try to save things. You know, I actually don't really mind that either, but I am kind of running out of energy. I don't have like a ton left in the deck. So I think I'm going to be a little bit more careful with my resources and just like load on to this bench Guardy and just knock out the active here. So let's just do that, and we're going to take our prize and, you know, we'll kind of just go with that. I don't want to get myself into a weird position where I run out of energy. That DC rip there is really nice as well, though. So that'll help as far as being able to pump out damage that I need for the rest of the game. But this Guardy should be going down kind of, you know, no problem for my opponent. However, I only have 2 more GX knockouts to go to win the game. So I could knock out this Lele if my opponent decides to attack with the Lele this turn. Then finish things up on this Stack Attacka with one of the Guzmas in my hand. Swampert's going to allow me to kind of dig and see more cards. I also still have that Lily in the deck in case I want to just draw from the deck instead of shuffle drawing with Cynthia, since I do have Guzma's in hand, which could kind of just like win me the game here, kind of finishing things up. Looks like my opponent is going to go in with that Tapu Lele. We're not seeing any sort of Duskmane action from them, which is like super cool for me because Duskmane is like really a pain to deal with, so I don't mind that whatsoever. But we do have to worry about the Stack Attacka a little bit. Assembly GX attack does 50 more damage to each prize card you have taken. So now that they have taken, what, 3 prizes, that thing's doing 150 damage. Not quite enough yet, but they are starting to get there. I could go, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. No, I can't knock out that Stack Attacka yet. We're just going to go in like this and knock out this thing. Then what does this do if the total of both players' remaining prize cards is exactly 6? Yeah, no, we're not going to be there because I'm getting ready to go to 2. So let's just do power draw here. I think I'm going to power draw away the max potion. I don't really need that right now. And yeah, we've got the choice bam, so that's fantastic. I can actually put this Ralts down as well, though I don't think it's really needed. I think I'll save that bench spot for the Lele in case I want that. So I'm doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. That's plenty of damage here on the Guardy. And then I don't really think that there's any real reason to put down any of these other cards unless I want to just like draw more cards with the Tapu Lele if I wanted to go for a Cynthia or something. But honestly, I think at this point I'm pretty close to just like winning the game, so I'm just going to Infinite Force here and then probably go Guzma Choice Band, hopefully just like draw into an energy off of the power draw, and then I can win the game. I don't really think that I needed to drop that Ralts, but we're going to leave the bench spot open for Lele just in case we want it on what could potentially be the final turn of the game here. We'll see what my opponent has to say, but I think that we've got it. I think this should be cool, and that Solgaleo GX is doing wonders here in this matchup. I was not going to lie, a little bit skeptical of the Solgaleo GX at first, but it is doing some things right here, so that's pretty rad. Also allows us to accelerate some energy back into play, which can be cool, and just has 250 hit points, 120 damage for DCE. Not bad at all. I love that this deck just plays a ton of different Stage 2 Pokemon all in the same deck. Super cool, you know, super cool kind of thing that it's got going on. And then also the Solgaleo GX, if you could take a knockout with it, is really good, being able to accelerate. But also that Prominence GX is super rad too if you happen to have a bunch of damaged Guardies. So my opponent is just going in for the Moonraker, 160 damage Moonraker here. We're going to see if we can finish things off. I would need to draw into a bunch of different I would need to draw into a pretty decent combo here to make that work, though, which is a little bit frustrating. I need more energy out of the deck for sure. Well, there is one. So I need 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I need one more energy off of Power Draw here in order to win the game. So let's just Ultra Ball away the Vulpix and the Ralts. Get myself something else out of the deck, probably a Guardy. And let's see, I have 3 energy left in the deck, so I guess I have like a decent shot of hitting it here. We're just going to Power Draw away the Lele, I guess, is one Guzma. We'll Power Draw away one Guzma and see if we don't hit it. We didn't hit it, so let's see. I don't have any free retreaters. I'm only doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I just don't have a free retreater is the unfortunate thing. So that's why I had to be able to Secret Spring 1 energy and go from there. So let's see. I could Twilight GX. I could just like retreat, Max Potion, Twilight GX, which would be fine. That would definitely, you know, get me the resources that I need to be able to win the game. It's a little bit of a bummer though. I would rather have like more going on, but with one Guzma, I should be able to probably just win, you know, with one Guzma left in deck. I have like a decent amount of cards, you know, going on now. So I think I'll just attack, I'll Secret Spring my energy on, and then I'm just going to play Cynthia, and I should be able to bring up something on my opponent's side of the field and probably win the game that way after I take this knockout. So we're just going to Guzma like a non-GX for game most likely. So let's just go for that. I'll put my Choice Band here and then that, and then let's just Cynthia as well. Putting the Mudkip down could be a little bit of a liability. We're going to have to see here, but you know, oh well, this is what we're rocking right now. So let's just attach that Fairy Energy too. And then I am going to need, you know, some energy here and also that Guzma to finish off the game. We've got a rare candy that doesn't really help us out too much, but I've got Lele for Guzma. I'm going to be able to see 4 of the next cards in my deck, doing 60 damage right now, so I have game. If my opponent doesn't evolve that Magnemite, if they do evolve the Magnemite, I'm going to need to see some more energy to win the game. Probably like I should have just Max Potioned in Twilight GX to make things a little bit longer and more drawn out and kind of guarantee that I win the game, but, you know, we are, you know, probably just being a little bit greedy here with that play. If my opponent attacks me with Stack Attack, though, I'm going to be able to get the energy I need on this Gardevoir in order to win the game. Pretty much no matter what my opponent attacks with, I'm going to be able to win the game with this benched Gardevoir. I really don't see any way that my opponent is able to knock out this Guardy without endangering one of their Pokemon in some kind of way. That was what my thought process was, but I guess, you know, I could have Twilighted. I don't think that Twilight is necessarily the optimal play there. Now that I'm thinking about it, I only need one energy to end the game here on this Stack Attack. That's nothing, so we should be good to go. I have energy in the bottom of my deck. Good game to my opponent. Let's see what we can get here. I'm going to Ultra Ball some things away, then Lily, then... Yep, there's the DCE right off the top, just like Jimmy did in the finals. Great stuff there. And we were able to beat the Metal deck, thanks in large to this Solgaleo promo. So we're going to roll this deck again. Jimmy, for anybody that didn't see that finals, was absolutely insane. He was playing against Blacephalon GX in the finals. He had a really good game 1 and 1. Game 2, he bricked, dead drew, and then game 3 just drew absolute fire. He had like turn 2 Gardevoir and also a Solgaleo GX in the active, which was insane. Like took a prize with Solgaleo GX turn 2 going first. And then I had a turn 3 Swampert just to draw through the deck. Was absolutely nutty. And then just gripped the DC needed right off the top of the deck to finish the game off with Alolan Ninetales GX's GX attack, Sublimation GX, awesome stuff. And Jimmy actually started off day 2 at 6-2-1 and needed to win 5 in order to make top 8, and he did it. So that was absolutely insane. He was on tear day 2 there. And we get a little repeat, it looks like, of that finals match between Blacephalon and Guardy here in this game. So it should be a good game, definitely a close matchup. But if Guardy can set up and do what it needs to do, it's definitely favored in Guardy. It's in Guardy's favor. Jimmy said he beat like 4 Blacephalon decks en route to his... in route to top 8, so that was absolutely nuts as well. He really gave this deck a run for its money, so that's awesome stuff here. We've got a great starting hand as well. This is pretty much, this is everything you could possibly want from a starting hand with this deck. Absolutely perfect. We're going to get ourselves another Vulpix. We're going to get a Ralts and at least probably a Ralts and a Mudkip, but we can get 2 Ralts and a Mudkip because we have the Brooklet Hill as well. So we're going to get to Lele for that Elm and then have the Alolan Ninetales to help us get a Swampert to continue drawing through our deck the following turn. My opponent is going out the gates here, guns a-blazing though. They are definitely rolling pretty quick. They got Acro Bikes in their list. They're ditching Fire Energy. They are drawing very well. So that could be a little bit stressful to deal with, but we will see. Let's see how many energy they got in the discard pile. 2 fires already. So they could have a turn 2 attack that is very big. And the Ralts there off the top, absolutely nuts. So we've got ourselves a great starting hand. Let's go ahead and get into the deck here, see what we need. We need a Lecture for sure. Then we're going to grab at least a Ralts, a Mudkip, 1 Mudkip in the deck, and another Vulpix. So let's just go do all of that. And let's think about it a little bit. I actually can't afford to put all these cards down, so that's interesting. I think, you know, we could put down the 1 Ralts. We can Brooklet Hill for a Vulpix if we want, or we'll get the Mudkip. And then, let's see, I can Lecture for 2 more cards. We're probably going to want to get a Vulpix and another Ralts. We definitely want to have Ninetales GX in here. So let's just get Vulpix and Ralts, and then we could get another Ralts just in case. Or a Ditto Prism Star. Ooh, we could get Ditto Prism Star. I kind of like that. And just, we could get Ditto Prism Star, and we could get... no, we'll get the Vulpix and the Ralts. I like that. That way, the Ditto Prism Star could help. That could be kind of tricky there. We would do it like that. If we put the Ditto Prism Star down, We could attach a fairy energy to it, and then it's like, ooh, you don't know what I'm about to do, right? Like, that's kind of funny. And my goal is to just knock out that Blacephalon. So we could just put that there. Yeah, like my opponent knows that I am probably going to be going in with Ninetales GX, but they don't actually know. So that's interesting. By putting the fairy energy on the Ditto Prism Star there, we could get a knockout next turn. So we've got Rare Candy Guardy in our hand already. We've got the Alolan Ninetales. We need Swampert for sure. And then we also probably want to just get like 2 Ninetales just in case my opponent doesn't actually knock out that active. I could get another Guardy too, but I don't really need that yet. So I think I'll just get the 2 just in case my opponent... just in case. That seems fine. Just in case they don't knock it out. Could get a Kirlia as well. Kirlia seems good. Let's get the Kirlia. We'll go in with Kirlia. That's fine. So now we have Rare Candy, we've got Swampert, we've got a Kirlia and a Guardy, we've got a guaranteed Ninetales next turn. This is like pretty stacked as far as a turn 2 goes from us. We've got an energy on a Ditto Prism Star who is very sneakily trying to become an Alolan Ninetales GX so that I can Sublimation GX that Blacephalon right on out of here. But my opponent may decide to go for Burst GX. Burst GX would be, you know, a little bit of a pain. If I had attached an energy to the active, they assuredly would have knocked it out. So I kind of had to attach the energy onto the bench and then just hope that they didn't Guzma knock it out. But even if they do Guzma and knock that out, I can just go and try to draw a different energy. If I do draw another energy off of the Swampert here, then we will be able to charge up, you know, this guy. Well, then I also need to get... All right, they're not Guzman, so we don't have to worry about it. But I would have to get a Guardian to play as well so that I can accelerate with the Secret Spring too. So a lot going on here, a lot to unpack. Should be interesting to see whether or not my opponent actually knocks out the Vulpix. I would expect them, I think... I mean, the Ninetales is a big threat in this matchup, so I think they might knock it out. If they knock it out, it's because the Ninetales is a big threat. If they don't knock it out, it's because they want to keep their energy in play for a future mind-blown attack. So that's kind of what we got going on. Fortunately, my opponent does have 2 Lele's on the bench. That's like really good for me because it means that they can't have 3 Naganadels. If they have 3 Naganadel, they're going to be able to hit their numbers way easier. Another thing that I got going for me is that they have the Beast Energy on their active. So that's about to go just completely gone right now. They are going to go ahead and take the knockout, save that GX attack for later. Here comes Ditto Prism Star, and surprise, it is now an Alolan Ninetales. So we're just going to go do that, and we'll get our 2 items. So we want a Rare Candy, and then also... See, we've got double Rare Candy, double Evolution, we got the Ralts. I really don't need anything else as crazy as that is. We'll just get a Choice Band too, that's fine. I really don't need anything. If I had the, I think if I had the Energy Lotto in deck, I would go grab that, but I just don't need it. So we'll go Rare Candy into Swampert, and this is just a statement as to how absolutely insane this deck can draw when it is on its stuff, doing exactly what it needs to do. If you hit your cards in the right order, this is just absolutely nuts. And check that out. So these are the kinds of games that Jimmy was just having on day 2 of Swiss. We even were able to draw that Cynthia right off the top. Absolutely perfect, so that we can Cynthia before we go in with the power draw. Get to see 6 brand new cards here. That's fantastic. Now we can power draw away that Marsh Stomp. We don't need that at all. And we've got Cynthia and 2 Guzma for next turn. Another Guardy that we're going to be able to evolve into. Here's an energy for that Gardevoir as well. And then Sublimation GX, that Blacephalon, is just a goner. So we start off the game extremely quick, extremely aggressive. We also are going to have 3 Stage 2 Pokemon in play. So that Super Boost energy comes into play. I can knock out a Blacephalon with the Swampert, which is absolutely nuts as well. And it's something we saw Jimmy do on stream, which was absolutely fantastic. So that's it. I mean, this is just showcasing how insanely lopsided this matchup can be when Ninetales Guardy has everything go for it correctly. But it being a stage 2 deck with a lot of moving pieces, sometimes you do hit the wall there, and the deck doesn't do exactly what it needs to do. And Jimmy was saying that in his post-regionals interview. It is a stage 2 deck for sure, and it does play with one. It does play like one, even though we do have that Alolan Ninetales, which just helps out so much with that Mysterious Guidance ability. And I think that at this point I can kind of admit that I was a little bit remiss on Alolan Ninetales at first. I knew it was good. Like I think I listed it as like third maybe, or top 3, maybe even second on my list of like top cards from Lost Thunder. But I think at this point it's pretty clear that it's just the best card in Lost Thunder. This thing has been absolutely insane, and by and large has to goes hand in hand with that Alolan Vulpix, and just how many decks it's been good in helps to just show how good the card is, right? It's not just good in one deck, it's good in a ton of decks. Though I will say Lost March did have a solid showing this past weekend, which was fantastic as well, and I'm really excited about that. Let's make sure that we hit this play right so that I don't end up kicking myself later. I think we just go in with the Swampert and just take the knockout on that Blacephalon and make my opponent feel really bad because they got nothing else going on. So we got that super boost. Oh yeah, we've got ourselves another Guardy, and we can evolve. We'll put the Vulpix down too, so that we can be live for another play there. And Swampert could just knock out a Lele if my opponent doesn't respond if I put that Choice Band there, so I do really like that. And then let's just Cynthia. I don't need to take a Guzma knockout or anything like that. Pretty sure that my opponent's not going to, well, they will turning point this thing, so that's a little bit unfortunate, but it's all good. We'll be able to take the prizes that we need to take here. We've actually got it just in hand on a benched Lele for game. We've got the Guzma here already. Let's power draw away, I think, the Lele we won't be needing at this point. We just want the energies, the rare candies, that's all good. And we could just take that knockout with Hydro Pump. That's just crazy. I mean, the versatility of this deck is really, really wild, being able to attack with a 9 GX as powerful as Swampert, swinging in there for an absolutely insane amount of damage, 160, 190 damage for 1 energy as a non-GX. That is absolutely insane. And the fact that it also has power draw, it gets to just churn through that deck too. So cool, and really cool to see a stage 2 Pokemon like Swampert actually seeing play in a deck. And a deck like this is really complicated. It's really just so much going on that it's a lot of fun to play as well, with all the different stage 2 options that you have. And finally, Alolan Ninetales GX just making the deck work, right? I mean, typically without Alolan Ninetales GX, there are just too many moving parts and too many inconsistencies to rely on for a tournament viable deck here. But we're seeing this deck working absolutely amazingly here, so I'm sure that this is going to be a top contending deck going forward, and something that tournament players will have to account for when preparing for tournaments. So let's see, we got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Oh, am I actually not doing enough? 3, 6, 9, 12. We are not doing enough. So I just threw that Guzma down, possibly preemptively. That is not good. Doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. I need a Fairy Energy too. So what do we got going on here? I actually don't have it. We need to attach a DCE for sure. And then my opponent might Stinger GX me, but if they do Stinger GX me, that thing's just going down. Now we've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, like that's not a knockout. Yep, that's fine. We could just Cynthia here and go in with a Beacon. I have like a ton of cards in hand though, so I actually don't really mind. Let's just Beacon here and we'll get the Guardy. I don't really know what I was doing. I should have helmed for like the Mudkip for sure. But it's cool. Whatever. This is what we got going on. And this is just what we're going to do. So I'm going to get these guys into my hand. Should have definitely gone and gotten that Mudkip with the Elm, but I got nervous because of the timer. The timer was like starting to come in the corner there. So we'll take one more turn to win this game. I don't think that my opponent can actually win. They would have to put a Blacephalon down, Energy Switch, and Guzma. So like they would need a lot. They would need Energy Switch, Blacephalon. I guess they have the Blacephalon with Ultra Space. They just need Energy Switch Guzma, which is actually kind of scary that they could just win the game like that if they had the Energy Switch combo. I know some Blacephalon lists were really hype on Energy Switch and were using it. Usually it's just a one-of, though, so that would be a pretty clutch card to have in my opponent's hand right now if they just had it like that. Instead, they're going for the Lysander Labs. So that negates the effect of all Pokemon tools. We're cool with that for sure. And my opponent has Guzma. They're going to bring up the Ralts and knock that out, which I'm cool with. They'll go down to one prize remaining, but I can just Guzma and take my game-winning knockout here, which is why I decided not to Cynthia away my last hand, because I was like, you know, so long as my opponent doesn't have that crazy combo, Energy Switch and Guzma, then we are good to go to win this game. So now we get to promote the Vulpix. All right, and we've got another DCE and 4 DCEs in hand. We'll take Guzma on that Naganadel. Let's see, we're doing 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21 damage. Perfect. Infinite Force, knockout, and game. Good game to my opponent. And again, shout out to Jimmy Pendarvis for an awesome victory at the Roanoke Regional Championships. Going to show off his list real quick here at the end of the video. It's very similar to Robin Schultz's list, like I said, except that he is playing a Lily, he's playing an Energy Lotto, and he's only playing 2 copies of Lele. He subbed the Energy Lotto for the 8th Fairy Energy, so that 8th Fairy Energy is not in there either, and I see why he did that. The Energy Lotto can be really clutch because you can go and grab it out of the deck. With Ninetales, he also opted for a second Max Potion, which I think is something that I heard a lot of players talking about after Robin's success with the deck at the Latin American International Championship. So anyways, let me know, what do you guys think of Gardevoir, Swampert, Ninetales in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Hope you all had a great weekend, relaxing Thanksgiving weekend, and I'm really looking forward to Anaheim, so I'm going to be pumping out some expanded content here as I try to prepare myself for Anaheim as well. Also, make sure to stay tuned for me on twitch.tv/TrickyJim, my new Twitch channel. I'm going to be streaming on there, trying to get my partner status. I need to do a few more streams in order to get verified as a partner. So go check me out there. And make sure to follow the channel so you can get notified when I stream on there. Also follow me on Twitter at EnjoyFriend, ENJOY friend. Great way to stay up to date with all of that as well. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to check out the Etsy store and Patreon stuff in the description below as well. Peace.